Melissa,
Yeah.
do you ever get the meat sweats?
Ah.
Do you know what the meat sweats are?
I mean, if I'm outside, but I'm a pretty meat heavy lady. I've learned how to handle it.
I feel like I don't get them often either, but I've gotten the meat sweats the past 2 nights because I've
Well,
eaten steak for dinner the past 2 nights.
ah, truly lovely.
It's amazing. It's a great feeling. However, you're about to question my life choices. So I
Yes.
made the steak, right?
Oh, you did it yourself?
Yes, I
Oh,
made the
way to
steak
go.
myself,
I
which
don't know why I thought somebody else made the steak for you. I'm sorry I
I mean,
underestimated your abilities to cook a
traditionally
steak for
that's
yourself.
what happens is other people make the steak for me.
Yeah.
I've only ever made myself steak. I think this is the second time now.
Treat
Uh,
yourself.
yeah. So I made this steak yesterday. I
Yes.
ate half of it because it was a ginormous steak.
Mm,
And then I kept the second half and I reheated it tonight. I
mhm.
looked it up all online. How do you reheat steak? Is this
Is
something
it
you can? Is this possible?
is
But
it very different from reheating anything else?
not really. But it's. I mean, it's almost the same thing of like whatever you do to cook steak like the first time, basically do it again. Is what the thing is. Just don't do
Okay.
it as long because you don't want it to
Okie
keep
doke.
cooking, right? You just want it
Mhm.
to like warm up and get hot. But
Yeah.
so I ate the second half of my steak tonight,
Uh-huh.
and I wasn't full.
Yeah.
And so Melissa, you and I just recorded an episode of the review show, a Patreon exclusive episode of the
Yeah.
review show, and I was like, I need to go eat some food. So I had a
Yes,
bowl
this
of
you told
cereal.
me. Oh, sure, yes.
So steak and cereal was my
No,
dinner.
that's perfectly suitable. I've done that a lot. What was your cereal?
Cinnamon toast crunch.
Good.
Good
This
stuff.
is the squarest thing about me. There are many square things about me. This is the most equal on all four sides. My favorite cereal is plain rice Chex.
Oh man,
I
Melissa.
I love a sugar cereal. I could go to town on a Cinnamon Toast Crunch, on a Fruity Pebbles, but the one I actually buy is Rice Chex because it's
Do you at
so.
least put sugar in it or
No, I
something
have
else?
it
No,
plain because it's just very, very
Melissa, I don't know
slightly
you.
sweet. No,
I
here's
don't
the
know
thing.
you.
No, Kyle, I am an absolute sugar monster. But when I have
I
had
am
too
too.
much sugar and I need like a snack to equalize myself to bring me down, just like a bland, refreshing snack, that's what a bowl of rice checks is for. You
Rice
know,
checks. It'll bring you down.
no, but like, after you've come home from a party and like you didn't eat very much food, but it was all very rich, and you're like, I'm still hungry, but like, I need the most mild thing possible.
Okay.
Rice checks, bowl of rice checks. I eat them a lot. It's also just a good, like, and they come in the giant box, the whole family size, but just for me, a lone woman. Like, late at night, I need one final thing to eat before I go to bed because, whoops, I stayed up too late and I ate dinner 5 hours ago. Bowl of rice checks. It's always there for
Ladies
you.
and gentlemen, welcome to episode 54 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. My name is Kyle Springer. That is Melissa Wilkinson on the other side of the computer screen from me.
Yeah.
How are you, Melissa?
I'm doing good, Kyle. You're wearing a hat.
Yes.
You
I was surprised you didn't ask me about this earlier.
I decided to wait and we could do it live. I've seen you wear a beanie before. I've never seen you wear a baseball cap before, and it is weirdly jarring. Why? What is it? What's it for?
So I actually wear hats fairly often.
Okay.
Or at least like out and about and stuff like that. Because
Uh-huh.
who wears a hat in the comfort of their own home, right?
You,
No,
I guess.
I'm just having a bad hair day
Oh,
today. My hair is extra long these days because I haven't gotten a haircut recently, and it's at the point where it's just unruly and untamable, and it just
mhm.
I don't like it. It's doing its
Mm.
own thing.
You don't want the tousled bedhead look?
No, not a good look for me.
You want to be a hat boy instead. What is the logo on this hat?
So it's a company called Tribal.
Okay.
They are like urban streetwear clothing, very heavily graffiti influenced.
Oh, that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah, they're from out in like California, like Southern California stuff. I found out about them a long time ago because I used to actually be very, very big into graffiti.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a clothing company that I found that was very inspired by hip hop and b-boys and graph writers and all that stuff. I was like, yes, that is...
Kyle, slow down. B-boys.
Yes.
Who? What?
Break dancers.
Okay.
For lack of better terms.
What was the third one?
Graph writers. Graffiti writers. So you don't so
slow down, Kyle. Like, remember the rice checks from 5 minutes ago?
That's great. So hip hop. One of these days we're gonna have to read. Okay, I'm getting an idea of something we can do for the review show.
Okay.
It's either gonna be like Wild Style, which is a movie. We're gonna
Lego
read
Girl. Yeah.
Hip Hop Family Tree Volume 1.
Okay, I've seen that in the Comixology account. We definitely don't share Amazon. Like, we each have separate ones, and I just can look into Kyle's magically.
And I need to figure out something for the third.
Mm-hmm.
There's other comics I could do or other movies and stuff, but I would like to get a little more variety in there. I'll have to see. I guess I could do the Get Down on Netflix. TV
that's
show.
a Baz Luhrmann production, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, already sold me. Spoiler alert.
So one of these weeks on the review show, we'll have a hip hop theme, and I will learn you some hip hop. But yes,
I should be learned. Yes.
From what I just said, though, the like 101 is it's actually not called break dancing. It's called b-boying or breaking or b-girling if you're a girl.
Okay.
And it's just one of those things that the media didn't understand it, and they were like, oh, these guys it's called breaking, and they're dancers, so they're break dancers. Okay, yeah, break dancers. We'll run with that. And that's what got popular, but that's not actually the
media
correct
So everything I understand about breakdancing is about as much as my mom understands about what we do here.
Probably, yes. And for graph writers, you're not a graffiti artist. You're a writer.
Oh, I did not know that. Interesting.
So that's you're not like I'm a graffiti artist. That's like, okay, you don't know what you're talking about. Sure, kid. And that's where you would say you're a toy, which is something you do not want to be as a graph writer. That's an insult. There you go. This week in Melissa Learns Hip Hop.
I've learned a lot of things. I got to develop this kind of lingo for like my office. We have jargon, but we don't have lingo.
Like we have like, I mean, all sorts of stuff has jargon and lingo and certain like terminology and stuff. Like there's video game stuff that we're gonna talk about today.
I ain't gonna know any of those words. I know a polygon.
That's the thing. I'm not gonna use the fancy terms.
Thank you for dumbing down everything for me.
But yeah, we are gonna go through our E3 blind predictions that we did a couple weeks ago.
Well, yours
Melissa,
were
I made you
yours were fully cited predictions because you knew
Well,
everything, and I
I
was
I
like,
didn't really
I.
make them. I was just like, Melissa, tell me yes or no. You're gonna be a magic 8 ball.
Yep, just shake me up, and the little polyhedron tells you
There you go.
seems likely, or I don't know, I guess not.
Better luck next time.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So that's what we'll be talking about. But I don't.
Mhm.
I don't want to spend the whole time talking about
Okie doke.
video games and
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
that stuff. You have a couple things
I
on
did. I
here.
threw a couple news items on there. First
You
off,
yeah,
congratulations to my local hockey boys.
that's what I
They
was about
won
to ask about.
they won that big cup, Kyle. They went
The
to Boston and they won it. It took them all the games it could have taken.
There you go. Does it so they won the Stanley Cup? That's the one.
Yes.
How many cups does Stanley have? That's what I want to know because
This is a math problem.
he gives them out all the time to who you know. Just like why would you ever have that many cups? No. So you're gonna have to remind me of the name of the
Oh,
team where you guys
the
are.
St. Louis Blues.
St. Louis Blues. So you're not
Yes.
so blue this week. You
No, things
guys are
went pretty
very
well.
happy.
I don't know anything about sports. I went to one hockey game once, and the way I understood it, it was basically ice Quidditch. And I saw them get into a fight 5 minutes after I was there. And I'm
Hmm.
like, oh my God, I thought that was an urban legend. You're telling me this is real?
Oh yeah, it's
Hockey
real.
fights are real and not like a myth? Like, well, they existed in your parents' day, but nobody does it anymore.
Yeah, we're
No.
much more civilized
They
now.
were no, they were punching. There wasn't like fisticuffs or nothing. Real hockey punches out there on the ice.
Side note, speaking of hockey and video games, there's a fairly recent video game out called Super Bloody Hockey. And yeah,
Like
it's just
just
like
that.
it's a weird little indie hockey game where you can just get in fights and it's super bloody and violent.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I like I like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know much about hockey,
How
but
how
great
many
movies.
games? Is it like best out of 5 or best
It's
out of
best out of
7?
7.
Okay.
So we could have won it. It was like 3-3 on Sunday night. We were tied. Mom
Yikes.
and I were watching the Tonys, which are the musical theater
I was
awards.
watching E3.
See, these are our different fandoms. I'm gonna explain a lot of musicals to you over the course of the summer,
Oh,
and
I'm
you'll
sure you
tell
will.
video games to me. So between commercial breaks, we were flipping through to check on the hockey game, and they didn't do it, but they went out to Boston. They won the big cup over there. And
Oh man.
yesterday, in anticipation of this, my office had a big party.
Nice.
Like there was decorations all over the place. I've never seen our office so decorated.
Did you
There's
guys
like
get in
blue.
fights?
No, we didn't like emulate the players
Disappointed.
themselves. No, there wasn't any punching.
And next up is Melissa versus Tim.
That's my older brother's name, and he used to work at this company. I got my job from him, and there was one brief 1 week window when he was training me, and we were both there.
That's funny.
But he can't fight his baby sister. It's against the rules. It's false. No, so there wasn't fighting, but there were signs all over the place. Everybody brought in a ton of snacks. Everybody wore blues gear. They made us all take a group picture together, but not like the whole office, just like my one manager gathered to two departments, like, hey, my two departments, all my old ducks. I want all of you in a picture together. And there were beers. There was a cooler of beers that showed up
Ooh, office
halfway through
beer.
the day. I didn't drink the beer because I am not a beer person, but I admired that it was there and everything felt very special. There was a bottle of blues themed cocktail mix on the counter, but there wasn't
Okay.
any hard alcohol to go with it. I think it was just mix.
Decoration.
So I don't know if there was like alcohol hiding somewhere or if had been expected to bring our own. I wasn't notified. I don't know.
You guys,
Maybe.
yeah, because you guys don't work on a like per client. You basically like you don't have like, hey, we just scored some big client. Let's all have a drink.
Theoretically, we do. We didn't do this the last time we got a client. Next time, I'm going to propose this. Now that I feel like the seal has been broken, like we're up for contract renegotiations, I think if we get the tiered pricing system we want and we can bring home the big bucks, we can get some champagne in the office.
Because my office will go do happy hours.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I've never been to one because I don't want to socialize with them. But but we're also like literally right next door to a brewery, so
Nice.
like that's one of the ones we'll
Mm-hmm.
go to sometime, or they will go to. I guess I shouldn't say we since it doesn't include me. But imagine one day I won't be able to just like sneak off and not go to those
Or
things.
is your age or are they adults?
They're adults.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got a decent age range in my department from like our youngest person is 22 and our oldest person is like 37, which is just small enough that we can all kind of get along with each other. Like the 22-year-old and a 36-year-old are best friends. And I'm right in the middle of them.
Hmm.
And I'll find that there's stuff I'm referencing that they are both completely outside of. Like I was trying to explain
That's
to them
funny.
Wild and Crazy Kids.
I
And they're like,
remember that. That
they had no
yeah.
idea that miss like if you were born in 1982 or like 96, you're outside. You can't get it because they didn't get it.
So
And
they
I
don't.
sound crazy trying to explain
They
Wild and Crazy Kids.
probably don't remember the aggro crag then.
That's
Or Stickly. You remember Stickly?
oh, it's right to me. Stickley, P.O. Box 963, New
What
York
was I?
City, New York State. I'm not done. 10108.
Oh, excuse me.
Kyle, I didn't even get to the zip code. You can't interrupt me or else it's never going to get to him. He
Take it
won't
away,
get the
Melissa.
mail. I'm babysitting my niece tomorrow, so if she gets fussy and I need to sing her to sleep, I'm going to bring that out.
There was something I saw going around on Twitter, and now
Mhm.
again I forget what the name of it was. You might remember it.
Yeah.
It was that I was that show. They were at some kind of summer camp. They put the
Oh,
shorts on the
salute your
flagpole.
shorts.
Yeah, salute your shorts.
Camp Anawana, we hold you in our hearts.
Yeah,
That one.
exactly. I saw that theme song going around on
That's a good
Twitter.
one.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. Good
I look
times.
up the theme to ABC's One Saturday Morning block like once a quarter. I need to
I
get
don't
that
think
back
I
in my life.
know that one.
That was the ABC Saturday morning cartoon block, and it had like Recess and Doug after Disney bought it out from Nickelodeon, a couple other things. Do you remember Science Court?
No.
I have not run into a single other human being besides me and my brother that remembers Science Court.
I
And I
think you
don't
made
know
it
how
up.
this got lost. No, Science Court is real. It had that same
Mm,
it
I
had
don't know,
okay,
Melissa.
it was a court for science. So somebody would come to Science Court.
I how would I have ever guessed that, Melissa?
Okay, so like there's one where somebody comes to the court and they're like, "Okay, we it was the town bicentennial or whatever.
Mhm.
We wanted exactly at midnight, maybe not midnight because that's quite late. Let's say it's like 9 o'clock. We wanted exactly at 9 o'clock this guy to shoot off a cannon, to celebrate. Pow! Town bicentennial.
Sure.
And he was, over there with the cannon. I told him to hit it exactly at 9. It took us 3 seconds to hear that cannon. He's in trouble. He violated the laws of the contract. And then science proves, well, sound doesn't travel immediately. If you take a look at how far away the cannon was from where the bandstand was, yeah, it would take 3 seconds for the sound to travel to you if he had hit it at 9 o'clock. He's good. You can't sue him. Science court adjourned.
So it's
And it
like
was in the
Mythbusters, but for kids?
it was a cartoon. It was a squiggle vision cartoon. Like the way home movies looks.
Yes.
Picture home movies. I think H. John Benjamin might have also been in this.
Interesting.
It's home movies but it's a court of science. It's
Okay.
real. Like there's nothing. There's so little online about it. I think I could barely find any clips. If we're gonna go look up science court, I'm gonna make you make science court the thumbnail image. If there's anything that isn't like 4 pixels by 4 pixels. God.
It was spelled just regular, like science court.
Science court. Look at it.
I'm looking up.
These are still images, but you can picture the wiggle in your mind.
It looks like It looks like there's almost full episodes on YouTube. Let's see what's happening over here.
Look, it's almost midnight. That
Look
cake
at it.
better
It's a
be
little
here.
square.
I want this to be the best
I
bicentennial
swear,
celebration
I
this
went trying
town's
to look
ever
this thing
had.
up once, and nobody
What?
knew what I was talking
I
about.
know it can only have one
Well, I'm
bicentennial.
glad I have
That's
it
not the
now. I
point.
did click
The
on one
point
on
is,
YouTube, and
you
it is
just
there in
better
its
not be.
entirety, and it doesn't look like absolute garbage. I want to be
Okay.
science court night tonight, Kyle.
There you go. Yeah, I'm looking up the one. It's entitled Sound, so I think it's they mentioned something about bicentennial at the start there. Yeah, the art does not look great.
It looks like the 90s.
Yeah,
It looks like what it was supposed
it's
to look like.
super 90s stuff. That's funny. There you go. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You were also mentioning
What did I mention?
theater season is about to start.
Yes, Kyle. Okay. Sunday night was the Tonys. My mom and I sat down and watched the entirety of the Tonys, even if we knew one show that was in the whole thing. And my mom, who knows less than I do,
Uh-huh.
she's, except for like, oh, there's a revival of Oklahoma. She knows what Oklahoma is. Like all of the new shows, all of the plays, she doesn't know any of them, but she's watching the awards and making all of these like sympathetic or surprised noises like, oh, he got it. I'm like, Mom, you have no context for these people. Like she got really engaged. She really played along. Like
She's
really deserved
making
it
her
more than I
own
did a minute ago.
assumptions
Yeah.
based off of the trailers that they show for like, and the nominees are, and it has the montage of all the stuff.
Like, oh, ah.
That's
The
funny.
winner this year ended up being a show called Hades Town, which I really recommend. It's this kind of like Dust Bowl industrial era take on Greek mythology. So it's the stories
Oh, huh.
of Hades and Persephone and Orpheus and Eurydice, and the whole thing is narrated by Hermes. It's
Zeus
fantastic.
sleeping around and stuff like that.
It's about like going from Earth, where everything is verdant and lush, down into hell. And, she spends 6 months a year there.
Mhm.
And then Hades is like, oh, well, if Persephone isn't interested, look, Eurydice's hungry because Orpheus doesn't bring her any food because he's just playing his dang lyre all the time. So I'm going to trick Eurydice to come down here. She'll be my new wife, I guess. And then Orpheus is like, oh, dang, where'd Eurydice go? There and get her.
Good stuff.
It's great. I'd listened to the soundtrack a couple times. I didn't know it was even nominated because I just stumbled across the soundtrack after some other podcasters recommended it to me. I know, like, oh, this is a Broadway level show. It's out now. It's nominated for things. And then I watched it sweep the awards the whole night. It was great.
Nice.
So that got me in the mood. Like, yes, musical theater, my lifeblood. And then that local outdoor theater, the Muni, they started their summer season this week. So I went to opening night of the whole dang season. I went to see Guys and Dolls out under the stars, under the sunset on this big, beautiful, revamped new stage with new screens around it.
That's awesome.
It was great. I am so excited for this season. I hit all of them every year. So get ready for the next 7 weeks to have me report back to you about a musical.
There you go. I'm ready. I'm prepared.
The summer musical segment. It starts here. It was Guys and Dolls. You're all familiar. Sit down. Don't rock the boat. We all know and love it. Good. good to see again.
Cool.
I'd never seen a version of it that was this professionally done. I'd just seen like college versions of it, which are also good, which are also fine.
Yeah.
It's just magic to see like a big, big, sparkly, shiny, showy professional version of a show.
That's neat. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to get into the blind prediction results now?
We can get into the meat of the episode. Yeah.
Okay,
I know you were
okay.
excited. I'm very interested to find out how good of a psychic I really am.
Yeah.
Am I a Mob or am I a Regan?
All right. So, as excited as Melissa is for all of the local theater stuff,
These are our realms.
I am just as excited for all the video game news that's coming out of E3. And so, yeah, a couple weeks ago, I want to say it was 2 or 3 weeks ago, we did E3 blind predictions.
Mm-hmm.
Since I'm the video game nerd and Melissa doesn't really know much, I said, Melissa, I'm going to have you do something.
Yes.
Play along.
It was fun.
Be a magic 8-ball
challenge.
for me, and I'm gonna ask you if certain E3 predictions are going to happen. So we went basically conference by conference, or at least major conference of what is gonna happen. And I had a couple things for each one. I think we had just over 20 something predictions.
Okay.
Do you want to go in order that we went last time, or do you want to go let's just stick to what we did last time. I was going to say maybe we can switch it up to the order in which they actually happened, but then I was like, I don't remember exactly which one.
No, just do the order you wrote them down last time.
Okay.
That'll help me too.
So first up, we had Microsoft.
Yes.
Question 1 was, with Sony not doing a press conference this year, Microsoft really has a chance to step up and steal the spotlight for the next generation. Do you think this is where we are going to hear the first details about the next gen console? Melissa said, yeah, I guess. Maybe a handheld.
I think half of these are going to have "I guess" in them.
Most of them don't. I think this first one does. But you were like, yeah, I guess. Maybe a handheld. So no handheld.
What
but
am I going to hold it with then?
Well,
My heart?
yes.
My heart alone?
In your mind's eye. But yes, Microsoft did unveil the first details of Project Scarlet. They haven't officially named it yet. This is like the
Okay, so this is only the first of 6 projects, and next they're going to be debuting Project White, Project Peacock, Project Mustard,
yeah.
Project Plum, Project Green, finally, secretly, Project Body. Which is just a new version of the Kinect.
And it's someone is in marketing back there's like, yes, we've murdered the competition. All right. No. So yeah, I mean, movies do stuff like this too, where they have like the fake names. Hey, we're working on Monolith, and no one knows exactly what that means, but that turns out to be the next like Star Wars film or something, you know. So that's the same. It's been under the project name Project Scarlet. But they announced a bunch of details. Nothing we didn't really already suspect. It was kind of lackluster. It was just like, all right, we know all of that stuff.
Something.
Sony did the same thing like a month ago by publishing an article. So
thrilling.
Yeah, you like spent all this time and money to make a big show and you didn't really need to. Then question number 2 was, are we going to see gameplay for Halo Infinite? And Melissa, you said yes.
I did. Okay.
But we did not.
Oh, dang.
We got
Okay,
no
so
gameplay.
I'm two down so far.
I was expecting gameplay myself, so that was also something that a lot of people were disappointed in, that we did not get gameplay. Question number 3. Do you think we are going to get a release date for Gears? Excuse me, for Gears 5? And you said we would get a release season, but not a specific date.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Melissa, we got a specific date. September
dang.
10th, 2019. So later this year.
Oh, wow. Well, good for them.
And the last one from Microsoft, I asked you, is Game Pass coming to Nintendo Switch? And Melissa, you said yes. Game Pass hasn't come to Nintendo Switch.
Oh, all goose eggs. All snake eyes.
So speaking of Nintendo Switch, moving on to Nintendo, question 1 for Nintendo was, what game is Nintendo going to be focusing on in their Direct? Pokemon or Animal Crossing? You said Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, neither. What happened is Pokemon released a Nintendo Direct a few days before E3, all about Pokemon.
Okay.
So technically there was that one. But in the one that they showed at E3, while they did show Animal Crossing, I wouldn't say it focused on that game, especially because they delayed it. So it was supposed to come out this year, and they delayed it to March 20th of 2020. So that was a little bit disappointing for some people. Question number 2, I asked, Metroid Prime 4 trailer? What about Metroid Prime Trilogy on Switch? And you said trailer yes, trilogy no. No to both of them. The trailer in my mind was going to be a no. I was expecting the trilogy, them to say something about that, and
you had all this insider knowledge.
Yeah, I don't think so. But none of them were there, so strange. Question number 3: will we get new Smash Bros. DLC, new character in Smash? And you said yes, and you said it would be Master Chief.
I did?
Yes, you did.
I don't remember this.
This is great. We, in fact, actually got 2 new Smash Bros. Characters.
Chief and, Naked Snake.
Nope. They opened up the Nintendo Direct with a Smash Bros. DLC reveal of, I don't know if he has an actual name, but the hero from Dragon Quest XI.
Is it a dragon?
No, it is a guy with a sword, and he fights. Dragon Quest XI.
Dragon Quest. How that's so many. Oh, it's this guy with
It's an RPG. Yeah.
Oh, it's this
RPG
guy
game.
with like android hair, like those Dragon Ball Z androids. Does he have hair like that?
Yeah, like the blue hair, I believe, is what he has. Is that the one you're seeing?
He
I
looks
don't know
sandy blonde. Does he have wigs?
I have no
Does
idea.
he dye his hair?
I've never played any of the Dragon Quest games, and I kind of want to play the 11th one. But
get to know the guy.
They're role playing games. They're kind of like I don't want to say knockoff because they're not a knockoff, but they're an alternative to like Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the first one, and then they, towards the end of the conference, they did another trailer where it looked like it was going to be this one character, and then they faked us out to it being a character that's already in there, and they were like, ha, we tricked you, blah, 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 blah. And then they revealed the real character who we thought it was in the first place, and that was Banjo and Kazooie.
Oh,
From
both
N64,
of them as a
from Rare.
team.
Yeah. So that was neat. That was one of the rumors going around. Or also, it was one of the most requested characters. Put Banjo-Kazooie in Smash.
Mm-hmm.
And they finally did. And that was
good.
Great.
Now, remind me, Banjo is a bear and Kazooie is a bird of some kind?
Correct,
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
All right.
And he would be like, ho ho, and then the bird would be like,
like in nature.
Yeah, it would like it would like peck down at the things.
Mm-hmm.
Question number 4. Do you think we will get a release date for Luigi's Mansion 3?
When?
Melissa, you said yes. I also thought yes, and we both are wrong.
No, I want to be in a mansion.
It's a spooky mansion. It's a haunted
one. No, it doesn't change it. Mansion's a mansion, Kyle. I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
So we did get to see some more gameplay of Luigi's Mansion 3. It still says it's coming out in 2019. I'm assuming what they're going to do is closer to when it actually is coming out, we will get another Nintendo Direct focused on Luigi's Mansion 3. But one of the new gameplay mechanics is that it's almost cooperative, and Luigi will make a Gooigi. Think of Slimer from Ghostbusters, but it's Luigi. His name is Gooigi.
Wow.
And so this takes Bustin' Makes Me Feel Good into a whole new direction. Yeah.
Finally, he has a son.
But he bends over and poops him out.
Dang, he looks just like Luigi, but a gummy bear.
But Jello, yeah. And he leans over and poops him out. It's disgusting. So Luigi is somehow gooing himself, which is not a thing I want to think about.
He's exerting all of his ectoplasm and making it sentient so it can help him with puzzles.
That's what you want to call it. So yeah, we got to see some more of that, and I know a bunch of people got to play it on the show floor, and people are saying very good things. So,
yeah. If
I'm
I was
excited
in
for that
mansion
game
with Luigi, he wouldn't look so scared. I'd be the brave one in the relationship.
Mario. So then next one we did was Ubisoft. So question number 1 for Ubisoft, which straight to my heart. Ubi has been playing with my heart for a couple of years now. Will there be or will there won't be? That's not a great sentence, but will there or will there won't be a new Splinter Cell game? And Melissa, you said we would get a new title and a teaser, a short teaser for that game.
So this is going to be Splinter Cell 8.
I don't know how many
back at it.
Sure. Back at it again. Splinter Cell 8, back at it again.
Splinter Cell 8, the gang's all here.
It's a solo stealth game. So it's by himself sneaking around. No, we did not get a new Splinter Cell game. There was no new title reveal, no new teaser. In fact, the only mention of the main character, Sam Fisher, is that he appears in another game, Tom Clancy's Elite Squad, which is a turn-based tactical mobile game. Wow.
Can I ask you, is Sam Fisher a real guy? I mean, is he just a name ascribed to the set of polygons, or does he have, a character? Does he have an arc?
He does have an arc, yeah.
Okay.
He has a daughter, and, yeah, a lot of his arc kind of revolves around that and being like, I'm getting old, I have a daughter, I can't keep doing this.
This makes sense. Because people keep talking about Master Chief, and I don't think he's a real man in that,
Master Chief actually has a fascinating backstory
Okay.
to me. He was
I never
kidnapped
hear anything about
as a
it. I just
child.
hear that like he's cool and he has the guns, and I'm like, yeah, but like, does he love? Does he live?
Does John love? Does John Halo love someone deep down?
John Halo, that's his name.
His name is John. We don't know what his last name is because he was kidnapped as a child and tortured and turned into this super soldier. And at the same time,
like
when
Finn.
he was kidnapped and taken away, a clone of him was replaced to his fit. Yeah. Crazy stuff is happening in the Halo universe.
I'd hide my face behind a mask too. I'd cry every day if my family had to live with clone me.
I'm so lonely. So yeah, no Splinter Cell this year, which unfortunately Jason Schreier of Kotaku.com kind of confirmed that shortly before E3. On his podcast Kotaku Split Screen, he was like, yeah, I can kind of confirm that it's not gonna be there. They don't even have one in development. So I was like, no, I love that game. It's my favorites. It's one of my favorites. So question number two for Ubisoft. I asked, are we going to see anything from Assassin's Creed Ragnarok?
Yes.
What it is potentially called. You said yes, we would get a teaser. Melissa, I regret to inform you, you are wrong. We got nothing.
Got none of these.
They didn't even mention it. Question number 3. Are we going to be getting gameplay of Beyond Good and Evil 2? Yeah, that's what I wrote. You wrote no gameplay, but maybe something.
Something. A smidge.
You'd be wrong again, Melissa.
Smidgeless.
Smidgeless.
What did we learn about at this whole dang conference?
I'll get into that in a sec. Last one for Ubisoft. Would we get more Mario and Rabbids or more Rayman? And you said more Rayman.
Mm-hmm.
Melissa, we got neither.
Oh.
None of those.
Yeah. I didn't know if it was really Rayman's year.
It's about time for a new Rayman.
Now, what does
game.
Rayman do? Who is he?
It's an action platform. It's a platformer.
But like, what is?
I mean, he wasn't kidnapped as a child. He wasn't like.
I mean, does he have a girlfriend? Does he have a job?
He doesn't have arms. We know that.
It's hard to have a girlfriend when you don't have arms.
You can't hold her in your arms if you don't have arms. Moving on to EA. Technically, EA wasn't even at E3. They do their own thing adjacent to E3. They're like, hey, we're next door. Come to our thing too. And we're all just like, oh, now we got to Uber over there. Thanks,
like
guys.
CaseCon.
So we only had 2 questions for EA because usually they're pretty predictable. They do all the sports games and stuff like that. So it's just like, okay, we know there's going to be new sports games, new Madden, new FIFA, new stuff like that. Question 1 was, we are definitely going to be seeing the new Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Are we going to be getting a new trailer? And are we going to be getting a release date? And you said we would only get a release date. Melissa, we got the whole 9 yards. We got a new trailer, we got gameplay, we got a release date.
Who do we got?
November 15th, 2019.
Oh, just in time for the Rise of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
Getting real big.
Oh, yeah.
Growing so tall. Eat your vegetables.
Yeah, do your homework, kids. Question number 2. BioWare kind of dropped the ball with Anthem this last year, but last year they also teased Dragon Age 4. Are we going to be getting a trailer for Dragon Age 4? And you said only a teaser. Melissa, they didn't even mention it.
Oh, dang.
They didn't even mention it.
I don't know much about games, but I know Dragon Age is like a flirting game.
Yeah,
like
you can have
Mass
sex
Effect.
with people. Yep.
Yeah, these are.
Or
I
you
only
can
know the
romance
games where
them.
you have flirt opportunities. So I'm like, I'm interested in that one.
Melissa, have you heard of Dream Daddy?
Boy, have I.
Yeah. You should go check out that one if you haven't. Moving on to Bethesda. Let's see. Question number 1. Are they going to apologize for all the trouble with Fallout 76 or try and joke about it? And you said they will not apologize and they will joke about it. And Melissa, you're right.
Oh, okay.
They didn't
Well, I got one of these.
technically apologize. They addressed it. They said they got a lot of criticism that was well deserved.
Mhm.
And they said, we had an exciting year this year for Bethesda. Some of that, with some of that excitement, we don't even know why all of you are here in this stage. Like, thank you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, they kind of joked about it, but they didn't technically apologize, and then they quickly kind of turned the conversation to, despite all the trouble we had, we still kept working on the games, and a lot of you still kept playing the games.
Yeah,
So thank
people
you.
still like Fallout.
Yeah. Question number 2 was, will we get a release date for Doom Eternal? And you said no. Melissa, on November 22nd, 2019, Doom Eternal is coming out.
Begins?
Hell on Earth. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Right before Christmas.
Question number 3, which I think was a write-in, thanks to Sam.
Oh, yeah!
Will Todd say fuck?
I believe I agreed. Did
You
he do
did
so?
agree. You said yes. I regret to inform you that Todd kept it PG.
Aw.
He did not say fuck.
I can admire that. A man after my own sensibilities.
I mean, he said fuck last year, so it's like, oh, Todd Howard said fuck. Oh,
New Leaf.
Ooh.
G. Willikers.
Yeah. Oh,
G.
ding
Willikers,
dang.
folks.
Moving on to Square Enix. The talk
Yes.
of the town is Final Fantasy VII Remake, which we saw our first teaser of not too long ago. Are we going to be seeing any new footage or get a release date? You said we would get a release quarter of just like, hey, it's going to be in like spring or summer, something, something like that. Melissa, we also got the whole 9 yards. We got new footage, we got gameplay, and on March 3rd, 2020, we can play part 1 of the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Okay.
There you go.
Spring. I remember in my past slight grazings with E3, a lot of quarters, a lot of late this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured that's how the game was played.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes they do that. They don't want to put an exact date, but they know, like, hey, we'll be done with it around that time. But you never know exactly. Question number 2 for Square Enix. How about DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3?
Who are we gonna get?
You said yes.
Play Push the Talking Trash Can.
You said yes, and you said we would get a new Disney World. Well, the night before the Square Enix conference, they held the... I don't know if it's Kingdom Hearts specifically. I don't remember, or if it was like Square stuff. I don't know. There was an orchestra concert. I think it was a Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, nice
orchestra. They do that every year too. I think they tour and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they announced some stuff last year at that. But at the orchestra is where they first announced Kingdom Hearts Remind, and that is the name of the
Seven Dwarves World.
Remind. I It's
Seven
RE
Dwarves World.
semicolon, or what's the one with the 2 dots? Is that the colon or the semicolon? I don't know these things.
Okay, 2 dots is a colon and
Okay,
apostrophe is semicolon.
So it was mind. All
Remind.
One word. Remind.
Like the verb to remember something, not like to mind something again. I thought they were gonna go into, hi ho and the diamond mind.
No.
Dang.
So it will release this winter, and it shows Roxas, Aqua, and Riku all as playable characters. There's also a new Keyblade transformation called Oathkeeper.
Okay.
And it was a really bad trailer too. But that seems to be par for the course for Kingdom Hearts stuff. So There you go. Let's see. Question number 3 for Square Enix. Early in 2017, we saw our first glimpse at Crystal Dynamics' Avengers game. But they've gone silent since then, with Avengers Endgame rocketing its way upwards in the box office recently. Are we going to get a trailer for this game? And you said yes. Now is the time.
If not now, when? If not you, then who?
And yes, we did in fact get a new trailer for that game.
How they look?
Well, I don't know, Melissa. I'm very skeptical.
Do they look
there was
too polygonal?
Have you seen Spaceballs?
Yes.
Do you remember the scene where they capture their stunt doubles?
Oh, so you don't get to play as Tony Stark, you only get to play as Tony Stank.
Yeah.
It's Roberts. I'm Lieutenant America.
So they're very obviously not going for what they look like in the MCU, which I'm thankful that they're not. I'm, as a comic book reader, I every time a new artist hops on those characters, they're different. They look different, right? These just seem just. That's not Steve. That's not Captain. Like I just.
Let me look this up. Let me enter
the
valley.
Avengers it's just a little bit off.
Game.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Like I can see getting used to it.
So Tony just looks like Commander Riker from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Sure, I don't know who that is, but
Steve just looks like a fella. Just like they went to like a store and grabbed a man.
He looks like the Disney version that we'll see at like some
looks like
Disney
his beard
World
is glued
park.
on.
Yeah.
The Bruce is okay. That's a decent Bruce.
Yeah. So we got a new trailer. In that trailer, it kind of looked like a couple of those seconds were gameplay, but we weren't entirely sure. However, there was a behind closed doors demo where some people got to play, or not play, but they had a longer presentation that explained more, and they could ask questions and stuff like that. So people seem to be very mediocre on the trailer and came out of that behind closed doors demo almost even more confused and disappointed.
This does not.
So
I don't know much about video games, and I understand this is early footage, but there's something about it that looks like it is not of this year. This looks like this came out of, like, I don't know, 4 years ago?
Maybe, yeah.
Not in any way I can really put my finger on, but it looks like, I don't know, it's paler than what I would expect to come out today.
It takes a number of years to develop a video game. Especially a AAA one, big budget stuff that can take upwards of 5-6 years, It
does not look like other AAA games I have seen footage of.
Sony had an exclusive Spider-Man game,
Oh,
and
I
that one
remember
was
the Be
amazing.
Good Spider-Man game.
Yeah, that was fantastic. We've also had some great Batman games, and this is it's weird because those games focus on a singular character, and it gets those characters so right because they have to spend so much time on just that one character, making sure it feels perfect. This, they have a whole ensemble, and it says that they're all playable, at least in some manner. So that's one of those things that's like, these guys spent 3, 4, 5 years working on a single character to make the Spider-Man, to make
That's
Batman
fair.
Arkham
That's very
Asylum.
fair.
If you're spending 3 years and doing it for 5 or more characters, I don't know if that gameplay is going to be all that great, you know?
Yeah.
It might not feel all that great.
Yeah,
Who knows? We'll see.
More,
We'll find out more information
the
down
more
the road.
I click through these, I don't know, this gnat looks good. I'm getting fond of this gnat. They look all right. I want another shot of that Bruce. It's a decent looking Bruce, but he's in the back of every crowd shot.
We'll see. I'm not ready to write them off, but I'm very hesitant. Melissa, we have 2 more questions here.
Yes.
These were my other questions. Other is in parentheses. First one of which is, what the hell is Rocksteady making? We think
what?
Rumors have been a new Batman game. There's also been like rumors of a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, or a Superman game, or a Justice League game. No one knows. No one knows.
Do we know? Now?
You thought it was going to be a Green Lantern.
Oh, that was my big wild pie in the sky idea. I wanted to be a lantern.
Yeah. Which
I imagine I don't get that.
I actually think would be a good idea. Melissa, they weren't even at E3. No new announcement from Rocksteady. A couple days before, one of the studio heads, one of the top guys, was like, "Yeah, we're not gonna be there. Don't get your hopes up." Question number 2.
Yes.
What the hell is Kojima up to?
Yes. I did see that we did get a trailer of some kind for Death Standing. I did not watch it.
Death Stranding. Not Standing. Stranding.
Death Stranding sounds like it's the one I would mistakenly say. It sounds like the false one.
Melissa, we got a 9-minute trailer for Death Stranding.
I put it in my watch later. I haven't clicked on it yet. I'll get to it one of these days.
We've gotten like 5 or 6 other trailers besides this one, but this was like 9 minutes of stuff. Oh my goodness. I have no idea what this game is. I am so confused. Like, everyone is so confused.
If you're confused, I'm extra confused because I'm just getting like fragments of it. There's babies, there's nudity, there's Mads Mikkelsen.
That's all that we know. I'm fascinated by this game. I want to know what it is so bad, and it looks right up my alley. But I don't know what this is, and we're all like, so what kind of game is this? Is it an action game? Is it a stealth game? You used to make Metal Gear Solid, and those are stealth games. And he's like, no, this is a brand new type of game. It's a strand game. And we're just like, I don't know what that means. And he's like, it's about making connections, hence strand, hence the character's name being Sam Bridges, who works for a company called Bridge. And the whole point of the game is to reconnect all of these towns and do all. It's like, what is, huh? What are you talking about, Kojima?
It's supposed to make us be friends with each other. Like, is that the goal?
I don't know. Yeah.
Reach out
so
and
I made a tweet, which I think a lot of other people came to the conclusion, or a similar one, that I was like, so wait, this is basically Kingdom Hearts but for adults.
It's
And
Kingdom Hearts with nudity.
it's about the friends we make along the way and making all these connections and going to different worlds and connect.
Strand was the friends we made along the way.
God damn it, Kojima. So that was all of our predictions or stuff. We actually had a mix. So I thought you were just going down the list saying yes to a lot of stuff, and I was like, Melissa, I don't know, you're saying yes to a lot of stuff, but I feel like we got a good mix.
We did get things. None of them were the things I guessed we would get, except we got Avengers. And I don't know. I don't feel like I did very well. I'm not a mob. I'm more on the Regan side of psychic.
You got the Fallout 76 will not apologize, but they will joke about
Live its truth. Be yourself.
Yeah. You got the Avengers thing, stuff like that. So yeah, I think we did good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want, because like I mean that's not all of E3. Do you want to hear even more?
Okay, because I saw you write them down in bullet points, and I want to know what the heck these things are.
I don't know if I've bored you to death yet or not.
You can go a little farther.
So, all right, I have written down on our notes
for me telling you about a musical every week for the rest of the summer.
So I wrote down in these notes that I have my like top 5 things that I'm most excited about coming out of E3. These are not in a particular order, but I'm gonna start with Deathloop. This was a new game announced by Arcane Studios in the Bethesda conference. I really, really like Arcane. They made Prey. They made the Dishonored series. Dishonored 2 is a fantastic game.
Are these more sneaky games?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Dishonored 2 is like stealth action. Prey is more like stealth horror, almost.
That makes sense. Based on title.
Yeah. And Deathloop, I don't know exactly what this one will be. It
sounds like a racing game.
It's not, but
can you take on the Deathloop?
But you're actually not far off. The look that they're going for is this real grindhouse look.
Okay.
So yeah, your idea of like, can you survive the death loop is totally spot on.
Okay.
But it was this trailer for these 2 assassins. They were both black and they were hunting one another. It seems like they are in this town called Black Reef. And they're in some kind of time loop, it seems, where they're just continually hunting one another. And when you kill one of the other, like when one kills the other, it seems like that person then just respawns somewhere else. So they're in this like infinite loop. And one of them, I think, is trying to end the cycle, and one is trying to protect it, is what it made it sound like. I heard something on Twitter that it might be a mix between Hitman and Dishonored, which, hell yeah, I am in. Hitman is also kind of a stealth game, but it's not so much about sneaking. It's more about like incapacitating the right person, taking their outfit to blend in and hide in plain sight and stuff like that. And both of those games, Dishonored and Hitman, have these like big open sandbox levels where you have multiple options to do all of this stuff. So that's kind of what people are thinking. I really like that studio. I'm excited for Deathloop. I think it looks great.
This does look nifty.
Alyssa, what do you want to hear about next? Do you want to hear about Cyberpunk 2077, Star Wars Jedi,
Cyberpunk,
Star Wars Jedi?
That's when you're wearing just like a flannel shirt and it's autumn outside. Cyberpunk.
Yeah. Do you want to hear about that, or do you want to hear about Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, the Final Fantasy VII remake, or Watch Dogs Legion?
Watch Dogs sounds like another like action game, like a Clancy or something like that. Like
It's
if it was a movie, it would
not
be a
Tom
movie for
Clancy,
dads. Hmm?
but it's not Tom Clancy, but it is from Ubisoft that does
But
all
do
of
you
the Tom
understand what I'm saying? That
Clancy
like there's
games. Yeah,
nothing exciting or sci-fi about it. Like it's just like it's a dad movie, but it's a video game that young men play.
this series might be more sci-fi than you're expecting.
Okay. Okay, that's
Um,
good. Good to
it's
hear. Are there
it's about
werewolves?
like hacking and stuff like that, not werewolves.
Oh dang. I would love if it was just a straightforward, just like sniper stealth game, and then it's like, oh no. No, I'm in the full moon's light. Oh
um, so Watch Dogs Legion is actually the
Mhm.
third game in the series. They did
Oh,
Watch Dogs
still
1 and then
watching.
Watch Dogs 2 and then Watch Dogs Legion. I haven't played either of the first two. I didn't get the first one, and was planning on getting that one. I was super stoked about it, but then it came out and it did not get very good reviews. But they stuck with it. Some people still really liked the concept and what it was trying to do. They're like, hey, this is on to something. It like
Yeah.
just this one, this first outing is not all that great. Then they did a second one. Was received much better, still not great, but they changed a number of things. It's like, oh no, now you're making it too much of like a action shoot 'em up thing. What happened to all the hacking and and stuff like that? So this one, Watch Dogs Legion, takes place in London,
Nice.
which I guess is one of the most surveilled. Is that the right word? Surveilled cities
That makes sense. That's where James Bond lives.
in the world. There's cameras everywhere. And yeah, this is a game where you have phones that can hack into stuff and you can do all that sorts of stuff. But the interesting thing about this one is there is not a main character in this game. Yeah, you can play as anyone. And it's not a like, oh, I get to make my own character. That's what they mean by you can play as anyone. No, so you start out as someone, but then you can recruit people to your cause, and once you recruit them, you can play as them.
So you're like a soul that hops from body to body.
Not in game, but yes, I know what you're getting at.
Yes.
It's
You
like
possess
as
different
long as they are
bodies.
on your side, you can play as them. But if a character dies, they don't respawn. They stay dead.
You die in real life.
Basically, yeah. So yeah, I mean, like that's a really fascinating thing of just like, how does that even work? Like you don't like just gameplay wise, I can recruit anyone to my cause. They showed off a demo of like, oh, we can recruit this guy, and here's he would be good at hacking, or he would be good at drones, or he would be good at fighting. And they were like, we can recruit this person, we can recruit that person. Look, there's an old lady, we could recruit her. She happens to be a retired assassin, and it's just like, oh my goodness, this is wild. I love this
red game.
Yeah, and so you can recruit anyone in this game. But from listening to all of the E3 coverage, one of the neat things that I heard about in this game is that like characters you hurt or you kill, they will remember it, or their family will remember it. So if you kill Dave and Dave's brother Stanley, if he gets the news that you and your organization killed his brother, he will be less likely to be recruited to your side.
Oh.
And then so then it makes all these different factions based on who you recruit and who you don't and who you kill and who you. And so I was like, that's amazing. That's fascinating.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that one. I think I'm going to pick that one up, and I believe that is out later this year. I don't remember.
Tell me about the Star War.
Star War. This one is called Star Wars Jedi: Fallen Order. You play a new character. I think his name is Cal something. And it takes place in the Rebels time period. So right between 3 and 4. Order 66 has happened.
Yeah.
Anakin killed a bunch of babies. They're
Younglings,
hunting.
Kyle, please.
Yes, younglings as well as babies. But yeah, so he's doing that. It looks like a Uncharted game mixed with some kind of Dark Souls style combat, which is not action heavy. It's very meticulous, and you have to find the right time to attack, and you have to dodge around them and wait for their tail and stuff like that. So I'm interested. I'm fascinated with that one. The trailer that they first showed at EA Play didn't really do much for me, but there was like a behind the scenes demo that a lot of people went to, and they were like, nope, this changed our minds. We are stoked. This looks fantastic. So I'm excited about that. And if you've seen Rogue One and you saw Saw Gerrera, his character is in this game.
Looks like our big Alan Tudyk robot is in there, or at least another robot of that style.
Is, yeah.
Okay, so this main guy, I'm looking at pictures of him, and this might just be like the swoop of red hair and like the strong pointy set of his jaw, but he looks like a grim older Peter Pan.
Have you seen the show Gotham?
I've seen some of it.
You may have seen commercials then. This is the Joker from Gotham.
I don't believe
it's the same actor.
Playing the Cyber Man?
Cal, whatever his last name is.
Face mapped?
Yeah, video games do all of the motion capture and face mapping and stuff like that.
Alrighty.
So yeah, and his likeness is what it is, and he's doing the voice acting and stuff like that.
Good for him.
Hello, Sam. I see you in
hi,
the
Sam.
Chat there. Apologies for not putting this in the Discord here.
Whoop.
But yeah, so I'm stoked about the Star Wars game. It looks good. It looks good.
I like the look of these screenshots.
Yeah. What do you want to hear about next? Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy?
Tell me about the Cyberpunk, because I know you love you a I'm gonna say Ciderpunk again.
Ciderpunk. You can have a hard cider. You can have the like a. Ooh, I wonder how hard it would be to have like a personal brewery on you, like built into your outfit.
Dang. Kyle, you gotta be a Ciderpunk for Halloween.
So Sam, what we're doing right now, we already went through our blind prediction results, and right now I'm doing my top 5. I feel like we did okay, but yeah, it was
pretty good for just an absolute stumbling in laywoman.
But right now I am going through my top 5 things, which is Deathloop, Cyberpunk, Star Wars, Final Fantasy, and Watch Dogs.
Final Fantasy I am already vaguely familiar with. Like, I could name you like the couple main characters at least.
Yeah. So you said Cyberpunk is what you wanted to hear about next?
You like the Cyberpunk. What's this number?
I am a Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, that's not so far.
Melissa, you're going to look this up and you're going to see pictures of Keanu Reeves. I
do see him.
Mm-hmm. Wow, this stole the show.
This is interesting.
This was amazing.
I'm glad to see him because I got to tell you, when I think about cyberpunk, I think about young people, and there he is, 50 years old or whatever, being a cyberpunk hero.
I've been super anticipating Cyberpunk. This is actually based off of a tabletop game
The
called
name sounded
Cyberpunk
familiar,
2020, which I think is actually based off of something else called Cyberpunk 2013, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, he got robot arm.
And yes, Sam, I am losing my mind about Breath of the Wild 2, but we don't know much about it yet.
More Wild?
Yes. It is a missed opportunity if they do not call it Death of the Wild. It looks dark and menacing and scary, and I like it. But so yes, Cyberpunk, it's something I've been looking forward to. We saw a cool new trailer last year. I was expecting more this year.
Yeah, his jacket has lights in it.
Excuse me, I just sneezed. In case you were wondering what that was,
you can all hear it so clearly. That's like the world's most recognizable noise.
Not really. Depending on how you sneeze. Now I'm just thinking about that episode of Community. Troy sneezes like a girl. So they had a new trailer for Cyberpunk. It looks fantastic, but then at the end of this trailer, the last scene, the character I guess opens his eyes or something, and he doesn't really know where he is, and this person walks up, but you can only see him from like waist down, and he's just like, all right, man, we got a whole city to burn, and then it like he kneels down to pick you up and get you off the ground, and it's Keanu fucking Reeves, and everyone is losing their shit. They're like, oh my god, what is he doing in this game? It was wild. And then please welcome to the stage, Keanu Reeves. And he comes walking out, and he's just like, Cyberpunk. And it's great. It's great. And yeah. And so he's sitting there, and he's like, guys, like, stop with the cheering and stuff. I need to raid this. And he's like, I was asked to do this. It's going to be great. The levels are breathtaking. And someone like 5 rows in goes, you're breathtaking. And he just, he loses it. And he goes, no, you're breathtaking. You're all breathtaking. And it was the best. It was so good.
Moment for the world.
This
will have to
so good.
Us through to like next year's Olympics on all that goodwill.
Yeah, so he's playing a character whose name I believe is Johnny Silverhand. Hey, it's Cyberpunk, right? Johnny Silverhand, and apparently that's a character from one of the tabletop games. Who is this rocker / activist, and apparently in this game your character has this chip installed that allows you to see him, and you're the only one that can see him. So it's this like,
what do you
digital...
mean nobody can see him unless they have a chip? Is he a hologram?
Kind of. I don't know exactly what the conceit is. Of like, oh, is he actually dead? And this is a program of him? Yeah, or like, is he in cyberspace? What's happening here? So yeah, I'm super stoked.
Okay, another question for you. This main guy with like the light up jacket.
Yes.
Is he also somebody? Because I'm looking at him trying to figure out if this is another actor.
Might be.
Or just like
I don't know if he's.
Face.
I don't know if he's a big name one, or stuff like that. I heard a rumor that Lady Gaga might be playing a character in Cyberpunk.
This seems like a place she would be at. Yeah.
There's another character who I forget the name. So I was listening to one of Waypoint's podcasts, and they break down some of the like, well, that's Johnny Silverhand. He's in the tabletop thing, so here's what might happen. But there's apparently another character that they really want to see, and they want to have it be a woman instead of it being a man.
Yeah.
And have Janelle Monáe play that character, because she does a lot of cyberpunk stuff.
She really looks like she belongs here.
Yeah, so
I hope so.
I'm super excited about it. Unfortunately, there's some not so great stuff kind of happening in the media around it, and philosophies and stuff like that in the games. They've had some transphobic jokes on Twitter, and there was something else that came out this week that was not all that great, but I don't know too much about that. I actually haven't read much on that, but I'm still excited for it. That game is right up my alley, so hopefully they can get their shit straight. But that's Cyberpunk. I'm super excited about that. Let's end things with Final Fantasy VII, and then we can get out of here. I'm super stoked about this game. I have not played the original. My first Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy X, and I really loved that one. I've always wanted to go back and play 7, and I think I might. I don't know if I want to get the version that's on Switch or on PS4, or if those are worth playing, or if I should just wait. The thing is with this one, Sam says it looks great, but they're expanding on it is what I'm understanding, so it could be one of those things. It's like, hey, if you've played the game before, you'll know most of the story beats, all of that stuff, but we're expanding on stuff that older game may have glossed over. The first game that they're releasing of this remake is maybe the first like quarter of the game is what I'm hearing from other people, and it's sounding like this first game is going to be pretty sizable. Like you're gonna be spending 30-40 hours in this one thing, which is not super big for an RPG nowadays, but for a like something that you spent maybe 10 hours in, it's like, wow, what other stuff are you putting in here to make this as big as it is? So yeah, I don't know exactly how this is going to work, but I think it looks fantastic. The combat looks amazing. I'm excited to finally check out this story. Stuff like that. So there you go. That's all I have to say on Final Fantasy
pretty.
VII.
I just looked this one up, and like
it looks fantastic.
As far as I know, this is the most popular of the Final Fantasies, because I know I know these guys' names. I don't know anything about Final Fantasy, but I know these guys' names.
I'd say it's the one that's the most household.
Yeah.
Like it's a household name, but
this looks pretty.
Some people really like 7, some people really like 8, some people really like 9. I really like 10. It's kind of whatever. Final Fantasy VII is important to me despite not having played it myself. Yeah, so I that's what Sam says here in our chat. I'm thinking the same, because it's one of those things, like I know its importance and how much it kind of changed the game for RPGs down the road. And it's, some of the characters are in Kingdom Hearts. I always liked how Cloud looked and stuff like that, or how Sephiroth looked. I was like, oh, they look neat. They look cool. So yeah, I'm super stoked. Lots of video game stuff.
Yeah.
But for
big week.
Sam, yes, Breath of the Wild 2, I'm super excited. All they've said is that it's in development. So we don't have a release date or anything like that. It looked dark and spooky.
Spooky. He
Yeah.
goes into a haunted woods.
Yeah, so that would be a runner up for me, but I don't know. I actually still haven't beaten Breath of the Wild. I got all the way up to Ganon, and then I stopped, and I haven't gone back. So I need to do that sometime this summer. But yeah, I'm excited about that. I am super excited about Luigi's Mansion. That would also be a runner up for me. I'm super stoked about Pokemon. I've been playing Pokemon Let's Go Eevee
the
recently.
sheep that has pigtails. Love them.
Yeah, Wooloo. They announced a electric corgi named Yamper today, and he is a very good boy.
I gotta look up this boy.
Yamper. Yeah, electric corgi. He's great. His butt has a heart on it.
Oh my god, look at him. He's got a big old neck puff.
Yeah, it's great.
Little feet.
So I'm excited about that game because I've been playing Let's Go Eevee right now, and I'm really liking that. I've already played Let's Go Pikachu, but yeah. What else from Nintendo did I like? Did I like anything else? I'm not an Animal Crossing fan, so yeah, that's not a game for me. Other honorable mentions just of the show, I would say, is Ghostwire Tokyo, and I'm still fascinated by Google Stadia. I'm very hesitant still. I want to believe. I don't think it'll work like they say it does. I think people's data caps will.
This is some sort of new handheld machine?
Google Stadia is their game streaming platform. So instead of a console that sits on your shelf like the Xbox or the PlayStation 4, stuff like that, the computer is basically in one of their server farms somewhere around the world, and it streams the information to you. So you don't have to have a box, and theoretically, if you have a good enough internet connection, you can get like the best quality version of this game. You can get it 4K, 60 frames a second as we go into in the future and get 6K and 8K and stuff like that. It will automatically update to all of that stuff because it's not like a standard box that you've bought. It's their own stuff that they can just update on their end, and it seems fascinating. Because basically all you need to do is buy the game and you can start. That's it. But it can stream it to your phone, your tablet, your laptop, your TV, all sorts of stuff. So it's interesting. It's fascinating. Microsoft has their own version called xCloud, but it's the exact same thing. They didn't really say much about that, and yeah, we'll see. Because also, I think it was PC Gamer came out with a analysis of like, hey, if you were to play,
this is what I'm looking at now.
If you were to play a game on Google Stadia in 65 hours, you would reach 1 terabyte of data. That is a lot, and that is assuming you do nothing else but that game. Most people's data caps don't get anywhere near that. So if you're streaming Netflix, if you have multiple people in your house and they're streaming Netflix or they're downloading stuff or whatnot, you might only get up to 5 to 10 hours of streaming on Stadia if you have a data cap.
Yeah.
And that's not much at all. That's not a good thing. So hopefully you don't have a data cap, and then it won't really be a problem, and then you just need good internet. But we'll see. I would love to get rid of all data caps, but I feel like the internet service providers know if we can charge you for it, we will. Who knows though? So we'll see. That's E3. I tried to do some E3 wrap-up stuff on my own this week, and it did not go well by myself. It is incredibly difficult to podcast by yourself, especially when you are a 1, perfectionist, and 2, you stutter a lot, and it's very awkward, and I get insecure. So it was a nightmare. It was a disaster, but I got to bore you to death.
I'm glad I can help, even if I'm looking at these things like, oh, pretty.
Yeah, it's good. It's fun.
I've heard of this, I think.
Exactly. Housekeeping for you. We just recorded our Patreon exclusive episode of Mob Psycho 100 Season 2. It should be out and up on all of our up for our $3 Patreon supporters. By the time this goes public, that's some good fun. We watched season 2. It was good.
It was good fun. Yeah.
Go check that out. If you guys want to get access to all of our episodes early, and you want to get access to the live streams of the Whatnauts review show, patreon.com/the Whatnauts is where you can support us. You can get all that stuff at the $1 tier. The $3 tier will get you all the exclusive content, and we give shout outs to people at our $5 tier. So Sam, who is in the chat right now, thank you so much for helping us out. Thank you to Christine, who also supports us at that tier. We would love to hear from you in the chat sometime if you're ever around. But yeah, thank you to both of you for helping us out and making this show possible. What else? Melissa, last week you explained to me Steak and Shake. We don't have Steak and Shakes.
Among many other local St. Louis things, yeah.
So that's one of the many things that we talked about here last week on the Captain's Log. Go check that out if you missed it. We will be back next week, of course, for a new episode, unlike last week. So the plan was, because we didn't record last week, that I would do the E3 stuff on my own and be like, well, at least you guys have something. That was a disaster, as I said. So here we are a week late. Last week on the review show, we covered a movie called Serenity. That was a wild movie.
Yeah, it's not the spaceship one. It's the one from earlier this year with Matthew McConaughey on a boat. And it looks like just sort of the psychological kind of noir-ish crime thriller.
With a twist.
And then it gets straight up bonkers.
This next week on the review show, we are going to be covering a comic book called Quantum and Woody from Valiant.
About the world's worst superhero team.
Exactly.
Which is very intriguing.
We're going to be reading the first 2 volumes of that, so be sure to check that stuff out as well. TheWhatnauts.com is our website. You can get more information there. You can find us on whatever podcast services you use. If we're not on there, let us know. We will try to get it up on there. Melissa.
Yeah.
Where can they find you on the internet?
Well, you can find me on the internet on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT. And I just thought I'd mention that my RPG is picking back up again. We're recording new stuff again. So the feed is called The Lost Library, and that's a hub for a couple different tabletop RPG campaigns. And I am in the Fifth Watch campaign, which is a teen superhero game.
Good
so
stuff.
You can go hear me play that.
Fun. I am at Yo Kyle Springer on both Twitter and Instagram. You guys can find updates for this show at The Whatnauts on Twitter. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch. Go rate us on iTunes. I guess there is no more iTunes. They're getting rid of it. Go rate us in Apple Podcasts or wherever you get our show. Like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Adios, guys.
Bye.
Hey, party peoples, thank you so much for checking out that episode of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. What did you guys think about E3 if you watched it? What was your most anticipated game? Let us know in the comments below. I would love to hear, at least. And go subscribe to our channel up here for a whole lot more. Go watch one of our other videos right down there. Could be another one of our podcasts. So go check it out. Thank you very much.